If you're an entrepreneur, you know you pour absolutely everything into your business. Your time, your money, your passion. But are you also risking everything you own outside of it? Today, we're going to dig into the single most important document that stands between your business problems and your personal wealth, the LLC Operating Agreement.
So, let's just start with a question that honestly should stop any business owner right in their tracks. Imagine a deal goes south, a client decides to sue, or maybe you default on a business loan. Could creditors come after your house, your car, your family's savings? For way too many people, the terrifying answer to that is yes.
Yeah, this is the legal nightmare everyone talks about. It's called piercing the corporate veil. It happens when that line between you and your business gets all blurry. Maybe you paid a personal bill from the business account once or twice, or didn't keep great records. A court can look at that and decide, nope, you two are one and the same. And just like that, the legal separation you thought you had, it vanishes. And all your personal stuff is suddenly on the chopping block.
So how do you stop this catastrophe from happening? Well, you build a wall. A legal wall. And your very first and probably your best line of defense is structuring your business as a limited liability company, or an LLC.
Think of an LLC like a legal firewall. It basically creates a whole new person in the eyes of the law, and that person is your business, completely separate from you, the owner. This separation is the entire ballgame. It's the foundation of protecting your personal assets. If the business gets sued, they sue the LLC, not you.
Now, this shield works in a few really cool ways, but maybe the most powerful is its defense against creditors. They can't just come in and seize your company. The main thing they can do is get something called a charging order, which only gives them the right to any profits you distribute, if and when you decide to pay them out. It's a huge difference that keeps you in control. But, and this is important, just filing for an LLC isn't some magic wand. Having the shield is one thing, making sure it's made of steel and not cardboard is another. The real strength of your LLC's protection, well, it all comes down to one critical document, the operating agreement. This is basically the constitution for your business. And look, don't just take my word for it. As attorney Sergei Takmakov says, a well-drafted agreement is essential. This is the document that proves to the courts that you're running a legit, separate company. It lays out all the rules and proves you're following them, and that makes it so much harder for anyone to pierce that corporate veil.
Okay, one of the first big decisions you have to make in your agreement is the management structure. You've got member managed, where the owners run the show directly. It's simple, it's common. But for way stronger protection, there's the manager managed LLC. Here, you're separating ownership from control. You appoint a manager to run the business, and that manager can even be you're just acting in a different formal role. This creates another critical layer of legal separation.
So let's be really clear. If asset protection is what you're after, the sources all agree a manager-managed structure is just better. That extra layer of formal separation makes your legal shield way stronger and a whole lot harder for creditors to challenge.
Your operating agreement is the blueprint, right? And it needs some key pillars to be effective. You've got to define that management structure. You have to document all the capital contributions, and this is critical. It should give the manager discretion over profit distributions and restrict how ownership can be transferred. Provisions for indemnification, which protects you from personal liability, and dissolution, which lays out how to legally close up shop, they're also vital. These are the nuts and bolts that hold your whole shield together.
All right, so you've drafted the perfect blueprint. You've built your shield. But the work is not over, not even close. A shield that's just left on the ground is going to rust. You have to actively maintain it through really consistent, disciplined business practices. This slide lays out the 4 absolute non-negotiables. First, and this is the big one, separate your finances completely. No exceptions. Second, you have to follow the rules that you laid out in your own operating agreement. It's your rule book for a reason. Third, document everything to prove you're a legitimate, separate business. And finally, get the right insurance. It's a crucial backup layer of protection.
And here's a look at the most common ways that entrepreneurs basically sabotage their own protection. The biggest threat, at a huge 40%, is co-mingling funds, mixing personal and business money. That's the fastest way to invite a court to just tear down your corporate veil. Not having an agreement at all and just plain bad record keeping, they also make up massive chunks of the risk.
So, the main thing to take away from all this is simple. Your operating agreement is not a formality. It's not something you do once, file away, and forget about. It is a living, breathing document. As your business grows, as it changes, your agreement should be reviewed and updated,
to make sure your shield stays as strong as the day you first built it.
Which brings us right back to our final question. I want you to take a hard, honest look at your business structure. Is that firewall between your business and your personal life solid? Is it well defined and maintained? Or is there a crack in the shield, leaving everything you've worked for personally exposed and just one lawsuit away from total disaster?